We humans tend to consider the world we are born into as a normal. We see the system we are born into as a fundamental, a given, an absolute. And such, we live lives predetermined for us by this system before we were ever born, without questioning one step of it. It goes something like this. You are born into the world, as a citizen of one of the 195 countries on this planet. This world has certain institutions that you will be made to consider inherently absolute. You have borders, laws, governments, police, companies, medias, militaries, etc., etc. You have the influentials and the insignificants. You have the rich and the poor. You have the rulers.
Quite what a concentration of powerful people this is. You could argue that...
And the ruled. Not once do we find the very existence of any of these institutions as peculiar. We accept their existence as if they are as natural as the sky and as unmovable as the mountains. You have to serve the rulers, you need to praise them. You have to serve the country, you have to praise it. You need to obey the rulers and the rules they make for you, no matter how logical they may be. And when you are asked to give your lives protecting your rulers and their power, you have to do it. You accept their claim to rule the land, the water and the air around you without a second thought. You will have to hate who they tell you to hate, love those they tell you to love. You do a lot of this subconsciously nowadays, not even realizing it. That's how good the mass brainwashing has gotten nowadays. The control and influence the institutions have people's minds nowadays in unlike ever before. If you yet refuse to do any of the above, you will be seen as an abnormality of the system and removed from it, through its various protection wings. Protection wings which have come to monopolize violence and are the only ones whose violence is supposed to be justified. The concentration of power in these wings should remain unquestioned, for you will be taught these are powers for good. But more frequently than often, you will find these wings on the opposite side of an issue that you are, opposite side of an issue that the majority of the population is. These wings will sometimes crack down on you, in fact, inflict violence on you, all the while you continue to fund them. Not because you want to, but because you need to. You will also need to be sentimental about some of these wings, for these wings are the absolute good within the system. No matter what act they commit, no matter who they protect, no matter what you even personally think, these wings are absolute goods. You can't freely go around the land as you wish, there are borders that will stop you. You can't speak freely, those in power will stop you. There are ultra-haves who have hoarded more wealth than they would need in a million lifetimes. This hoarding have created a massive group of have-nots, those who can't even eat or drink. There are those of us in between who can definitely eat, drink and buy other things, but we need to sacrifice a lot, labor a lot for that to happen. We need to work unconventionally to have a fraction of the ultra-haves. In any sane, normal system, the minority of ultra-haves would not have come into existence in the first place, or would have had to distribute their resources to the have-nots or face being destroyed by the normal system itself. But our system, on the other hand, protects the ultra-haves from the have-nots. It has determined that allowing the formation of this group of ultra-haves is justified and that the exponentially more number of have-nots are in the wrong for even questioning the hoarding. I can go on for hours, no, days, about how flawed this system is on different levels, to the point that we can confirm that this is not a system in the first place. It's madness. It promotes exploitation of humans, farming of humans, commodification of humans. This system of humans actively work against humanity. Getting back to your personal life, it will go something like this. After you reach a certain age in this world, you will need to go to schools, because without this foundation step, you can't proceed to the next step of your predesigned life path in the system. After school, you will go to a university. At some point the vast majority of your awake time would be spent centered around the university. Either being in the university physically or doing work given by the university. But this is tame. Your life will only get more and more centered around the institutions from now on. After you graduate, you will need to work, spending more and more of your awake time around your work. You don't particularly spend so much of your time on work because you want to, but because you need to. You cannot survive in the system unless you work like slaves for hours upon hours. At some point you get married, have children, raise your children the same way you were raised, make them walk the same predetermined path of the system that you walked. Then you work, and work some more. Sometime later you get too old to work, you retire, weak and fragile, a fraction of the person you were decades ago. Unable to do much of anything, probably live with minimal activity. And then you die. You leave this world forever. You are gone, never to live again, never to be conscious again. Never to experience this reality again. This is the model of a human life in today's system. Not once through the entire process do we wait for a moment and think to ourselves that this is weird. Never wait a moment to question it, we just accept it like we accept the sunlight of the day and the darkness of the night, as if this system is the most natural construct of this world. Is this really all there is to life? Is this really the life we humans were born to live? Sure, you can argue this system has brought about progress in the lifestyles, not lives, but lifestyles, of a very big chunk of the human population. However, I think it has created a system where people do not exactly live, they simply exist. To my eyes, the norms of the human society are an abnormality. I am an insignificant commoner on the predetermined path, like everyone else is. I am destined to meet the same end as everyone else. But every once in a while, I can't deny my urge to rebel against it. Even if not on a societal level, I would be happy to do so on a personal level. To escape this system and live, for the first time in my life. There are some in this world who have truly embraced the system, those who are fully loyal to it. Committed to succeed in the success defined by the system. I look at them with eyes of both pity and jealousy. For while they will always remain but a mechanical part of the system, they can also find happiness in it, purely because of their ignorance of it, of its abnormal form. On the other hand, there are also those who have broken away from the system in varying degrees. When I was younger, I saw the extreme ones of them with sorry eyes, because I looked at them with the eyes of the system. To the eyes of the system they are but failures, errors in the system. Cowards who ran from the system. But today as I look at them with my own eyes, I look at them with admiration and respect. To my eyes, they are the normal ones. It takes a lot of bravery to be normal in this abnormal system. I do not have that kind of bravery yet. All I can do for now is continue to exist in this abnormal system, dreaming to one day to truly live like the normal ones.